What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you are joining us once again for a Pull Up a Chair podcast, the flagship podcast of this channel we call Pull Up a Chair that has many different podcasts, but you're listening to the one that started it all. And I am joined by the prognosticator himself and my co-host,
Eric. What's a prognosticator?
Don't worry about it.
I don't know if I should feel offended or honored or indifferent. I'm unsure what you mean by prognosticator.
A foreteller of the future or a prophecy?
Well, thank you very much, Nicole. Well,
not a problem, my friend. I will gladly call it as I see it.
So thank you much, sir. All right. Well, let's get started today.
What are some things we got to talk about, my friend? There's some things that are happening in this world, and you are bringing them to our doorstep. What is it, Eric?
First, I want to give a shout out to our podcast of the week, and that is A Bit O Anime. Listen to this.
Coming to you from a little bit of anime, this is Monica Robinson.
And Elijah Bailey.
The podcast that walks the line. It's detailed enough for some hardcore fans, but we also keep it simple for the casual, new anime viewer also.
To listen to our podcast, or to find out more about us, our show, or to contact us, go to our official Facebook page, A Little Bit of Anime. To find us on Twitter or Instagram, go to Bito Anime. And to find anything about us, go to www.blackenstudios.com, where you can click on our link and have access to all our shows.
All right. Thank you. Well, since it's September, and that's when a lot of new shows get released in a year is the fall season, we like to do a little shout out to those shows who are having an anniversary, some of the old shows that we grew up with. Today, not this day, really, it was yesterday. Yesterday, September 26th, in the year of 1987.
Of our Lord.
We were blessed with a great animated series based on a live action series, nonetheless. A live action series about a lovable creature who enjoyed delicacies.
My Pet Monster?
Of the feline kind. I don't know.
Cabbage Pail Kids.
Cabbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids.
I don't know what they ate. Alf, the animated series.
Alf?
Do you remember this cartoon?
Buddy, I remember this cartoon. I remember, let's back up a second.
Okay.
I remember the show.
Okay.
And as a kid, I didn't like the show.
Like the original Alf series?
Right.
The sitcom? Okay.
I did not like the Alf series.
We have a divergent opinion on that. I loved the Alf sitcom. And what I do remember about the cartoon is I did not like it. It didn't seem to have the quality and the shine as other animated series. I'm not sure why.
Well, let me give you a little history of
educate
why.
Me.
Well, there's a little studio that you and I are very familiar with. A studio that earlier, when I looked at the animation, right when you pulled it up, I asked you a question. What does this happen to be? A Deke production.
Oh, our good old, was it French Canadian?
French Canadian.
They're a French Canadian studio who best known for garbage fire animation.
Well,
can't even call it we're not even going to call it animation. We're going to call it manimation.
We're not even going to call it
Garbage-mation.
just say animation, my friend. It was just garbage fire series, period.
Yeah,
Might I bring up a tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills?
From Beverly Hills. Well,
that was a live action show, but it was still god awful.
Yeah, well, we
actually
did some shows on that. They have all been removed. I want to say this one. There's a show called Dino Saucers. I've seen it several times now in some lists. I remember the show, and it is horrible. Also,
there's really nothing on this list. I mean, you got Rainbow Bright, you've got Little Clowns of Happy Town, which I'm sure was trash.
Well,
Batman
pole position though.
Well, that is true. Wait, click on Batman there. They did a bat. That is never mind. That is not a series by Deke. I don't know. I'm going to have to look up the Batman series by Deke. But little known fact, Deke, when translated from French Canadian
to
American,
as what we speak, God's tongue,
the American of the streets. But when you translate it, it means poop.
Oh, wow.
Which is what Deke did a lot of times. They crapped out these series, and man, they weren't good. And I'll tell you what was weird about this show is while I didn't like the puppet version of Alf, seeing him walking around on two legs, fully animated as an automaton.
Yeah. An animated character?
Yes. It just freaked me out. It was weirder. Yeah, more weird. I don't know what the proper...
Oh, I don't need it either.
Bring up of that goes. But hang on. I've got to look up the Batman. While you talk about our next... After I've been traumatized by that, while you talk about our next thing, I'm going to look up Deke Batman series because this has got me floored right now.
All right. Well, our next happy birthday anniversary goes out to another small production tied to a actor later on. This character was made into a live action film played by what was his name? It was on the tip of my tongue. It fell off because who played this guy? Who's our actor who plays this?
Oh, Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. God.
How could you forget Dolph?
I think it's pretty easy.
We talked about Dolph not too long ago.
We did. We did a little series with Dolph talking about the live action version of this show. The
masterpiece that was Masters of the Universe, the live action movie.
From He-Man.
That should have won an Academy Award, but was robbed because they're biased against Dolph
Lundgren. Yeah, Dolph played the He-Man.
And Skeleton People, sorry.
Yeah, apparently. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe premiered. Oh, let me find it again. I just had it up. Sorry about that. 1983 on September 26th. Yesterday. Oh, it must have been a Saturday. A bunch of new cartoons coming out. So that's when He-Man appeared. He-Man was a beloved show at my household. He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers. These were the shows that were like the embodiment of my childhood. Loved Cringer, or what's Cringer's evolved form?
War Cat or War Eagle.
Yeah, War Eagle. I loved He-Man, Masters of the Universe. My brother loved it probably twice as much as I did. I know for at least one Halloween, I got dressed up as He-Man. I had
He-Man.
I had the sword. I had the outfit. We loved He-Man at our household. It was just loved.
Well, I really enjoyed this series, especially when he would take the sword and he'd say, "Sword of Grayskull, give me sight beyond sight." And it would show him things happening in real time.
That was a crossover scene.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the crossover scene. That wasn't his sword. He was using some other sword from a lesser known series.
Oh, he got his swords mixed up. That's a a shame. That's
I like that. Well, if we didn't know, He-Man was voiced by a voice actor named John Irwin.
John the Man Irwin.
Yeah, a little. He didn't voice a ton. You can hear his voice in Back to the Future Part 2 over the radio, and in the movie Remember the Titans.
Well, wait a minute. Why would you try to voice anything else after you've been the voice of He-Man?
Well, I've heard
you can live off the residuals of voice acting He-Man for the rest of your life.
He did, because he didn't do much after that. Did a couple other things. He did Beastman, which is one of the henchmen's voices, as well. Ram Man. If you can't understand where they get the names, they'll just say something, put the man at the end of it.
Well, yeah. I'm guessing. I'm going to go on a limb here. Ram Man. He had a ram. I think he was the one that had like a ram face on him, and it would shoot out of his chest. And I think
I
that was
think
it.
that's right. Yeah, as
I-
ridiculous as that sounds, I think that is right. Oh, there's not a picture of it.
No, I will look up Ram Man, but I'm fairly certain. But no, you're right.
I think I own that character too.
It was simply like, hey, here's the thing. No, okay, wait. He was just their version of.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut. He was that.
That was
oh,
Ram.
that's right. He had the
head.
He had the hard head, but the toy had those legs that you would push down.
Yeah, they would compress.
and
he'd pop up.
he'd
That's
pop
what
up.
it was. You were hey. There was a ramming function in there,
right.
and he would like jump. That was his ability in the cartoon.
So that was Ram Man, but
From the classic John Irwin voicing.
Here's the thing: is John Irwin. He didn't do much afterwards because he lived off the residuals of.
He lived in the high life.
Right, he did, voicing He-Man, because he could walk into any place and be like, I voiced He-Man.
And they're like, yes, sir.
Just like Dolph Lundgren did, he did nothing else except be He-Man, and he could walk into any place and go, I was He-Man. And that was what he did.
Yeah, people follow his feet. Yeah, and hey, you can watch He-Man episodes are available on YouTube. I'm sure you have to pay for them, though. And who wants to pay for that? I do.
Aren't they on Netflix?
I think that I think so. Well, there's that. I gotta say, He-Man has some pretty interesting undertones with the clothing and the.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Affection that they show at times. I'm not gonna be blatant about it.
Man, it was.
There are some memes out there, though. At your own discretion.
It was the 80s, man. Just get on board. It was a different time. It was all about peace and love.
I think you're thinking of a different. That's the 60s.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
We don't go back that far very often.
My bad.
Unless we're talking about Scooby-Doo.
Eye of Thundera. Give me sight beyond. Sorry.
That's it.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know He-Man. I forgot He-Man had an axe also.
He did have an axe.
I don't know if
the axe of Grayskull.
The axe. Is that what it's called?
No, I have no idea.
The axe of Bill the Axe Smith.
He would hold up the axe and he would turn into just a even more buff version. No one ever understood why he didn't just use the axe to begin with.
He gets glossy and real shiny.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
No, with the sword he gets buffer.
Oh,
with the axe it's just like coconut oil. It just
it comes out of his body.
It makes him more intimidating to the enemy. He flexes and they're like, oh my goodness, run away.
They're like, I'm uncomfortable. Is anyone else uncomfortable right now?
And people would try to grab him and like squirt out of their do. You know, that's the song.
You know every song. Nick here will just start humming a song and be like, you remember this song from this cartoon or this movie? I'm just like, no, I barely remember names of people I met.
Yeah, man, like, I'm telling you, that was a different time.
You remember every minor song. We had a big discussion. What was it? Last week about the Transformers? Was it that was last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
We talked about the song at the end of Transformers. I brought that up though.
Oh, well, and you know what? I have to make a correction.
What happened?
Well, I had the wrong, the wrong song.
Yeah, I know. Those lyrics were set perfectly to the tone of Transformers.
My dramatic reading of You've Got the Touch was actually by the band Alabama.
Oh, good band.
I was actually looking for the one by Stan Bush, which now having read the new lyrics makes a lot more sense about why it was in that movie.
It wasn't You Got the Touch, I Got the Feeling or whatever it was.
No, I mean, it was like, this is more like, pardon me, give me a moment.
Prepare yourself. Guys, prepare your listening cavities
for
the sweet dulcet tones of Nick.
A dramatic reading of The Touch by Stan Bush. You've got the touch. You've got the power. After all is said and done, you've never walked, you've never run, you're a winner. You got the moves.
You're a winner.
You know the streets. Break the rules. Take the heat. You're nobody's fool. You're at your best. When the going gets rough, You've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You've got the touch. You've got the power. When all hell's breaking loose, you'll be right in the eye of the storm. You've got the heart. You've got the motion. You know that when things get too tough, you've got the touch.
Wow. I know I'm speaking on behalf of all who have heard this come out of your mouth. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome. And I am sorry.
Goodness.
I am sorry for my incorrectness last week.
It was worth it to hear that this week. It was worth it.
The
wait was worth it.
I really felt I had to bring it to make up for the...
It was brought it.
To our listening audience.
I loved it. I mean, man, I'm so honored that you are my friend.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm in an episode of He-Man here. Let's back off a little bit, all right?
Speaking of two gentlemen who have a great affection for each other, we're going to move to another show whose anniversary is now. A show from a little later. We used to talk about the 80s, and we like the 90s, though. This is a 90s show, live-action sitcom, about two friends trying to make their way in school and life, just trying to be the best them they could be.
Rodimus Prime and Megatron?
The live-action, exactly.
Oh. My bad. Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, yes, and
Sylvester Stallone.
Those guys, man, that's a good duo right there. You got like an A-lister and like a D-lister. That's a good duo.
It would make a great series.
Why isn't Dolph Lundgren in any of those? What's those movies that they have all the old guys in that are action heroes?
You talking about? He is in those.
Oh, is he in those?
Yeah.
Expendables.
The Expendables.
Yeah. I've only seen like two of them.
And
I've only seen them once.
His acting is superb in those movies.
Is it?
Yes.
I should go back and watch it. I remember liking it. I remember liking it. I just don't remember everybody in it. We're talking about Cory Mathews and Sean Hunter of Boy Meets World.
Whoa! You mean Girl Meets World?
Well, before the girl met the world, which sounds very wrong to say.
What? Let's
go with Boy Meets World. That doesn't sound right either.
I'm gonna just back up from what I said. I'm gonna take back what I said. And you know what, Eric? What show are we talking about?
Boy Meets World.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, we're talking about Boy Meets World, and let's not go any further than that. So Boy Meets World aired in the year of our Lord, 1993, on September 24th. 1993 was the premiere episode, the flagship episode of the Boy Meets World franchise. So it's about, you know, we all know it. It aired, I think, on TGIF, which we were going to do a show over. We should do a show over TGIF next week.
We're going to talk about the
we should do that. To TGIF. A lot of shows went through there. A lot of good shows went through there.
You know what TGIF was, though?
Okay. T-GIF?
You change one letter.
Uh-huh.
It was the GIF that it really was.
It was the first
And that's
GIF.
a little something you're going to get next week. Okay?
Okay.
That kind of stuff is what I'm bringing out.
Man, that's some good foreshadow. What'd you call me in the beginning of this podcast?
Foreshadow. Well, you're talking about foreshadowing, but I called you a prognosticator.
Yeah, that
one who prognosticates or tells the future, because I have a reason for that, and we'll get to that toward the end.
Okay, well, all right. So that's Boy Meets World. You watched Boy Meets World? I sure did.
I wasn't so much into Boy Meets World.
I really liked Boy Meets World. I related to it in 1998, it was the year I graduated high school. Beautiful year. But more importantly, that's the year that Cory, Topanga, and Sean graduated high school. So I went through my formative years through middle school and high school and my early years of college. With the Boy Meets World.
When was the funny brother on it?
Eric Mathews?
Yes, he would later on voice none other than Batman Beyond. That's
oh really?
How I know him. He was the voice of
Will Friedle. I think.
Will Friedle was the voice of Batman Beyond.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did he voice
Terry McGinnis?
Oh, well, that's
he's
really
done a lot of voice acting.
Oh man, we should hit him up. That's awesome. Oh, he has Splinter. Whoa, he did TMNT. Back to the Sewer Splinter. Man, Turtles Forever. Man, this guy has done some, man. I'm jealous of his Thundercats. He did Lion-O in the 2011-12, which wasn't a bad series. I liked it. Gravity Falls. Another one from Gravity Falls. That's two people from the show from Gravity Falls. Because another individual, Danielle.
Eye of Thundera. Give me sight beyond sight. Wilfried will call me. We'll work this out.
Another character from Gravity Falls. What's it called? Pyronesia. One of Bill's minion people that he pulls into the world if you enter Gravity Falls. But that was voiced by Danielle Fischel. Is that how you say it? Fischel? I'll just call
Danielle
it
Fischel.
I'll just call it Topanga. Because growing up, Topanga was my jam.
You know what? Topanga has too many syllables. We're just going to call her Toppy.
No, I love the name Topanga.
Toppy?
It sounds pretty. Yours sounds offensive almost.
Toppy.
So Topanga Lawrence,
Toppy.
The beautiful actress Danielle voiced another character.
Beautiful way of saying that. What is that? What is that? Was that Swedish?
That's the native tongue.
Is that Swedish?
Of
Okay.
the Swedes.
Okay.
You're welcome. Educational podcast here,
It
guys.
really did sound like Swedish Chef.
This is the language cast.
Okay.
So did you not? So you don't like Topanga Lawrence? You didn't like?
Oh no, I like Topanga.
You don't think she's pretty?
She was very pretty back in the day.
Was?
She's very pretty now.
She's still very pretty. Well, she unfortunately last year got divorced. Me and her talked a little bit. We realized it wasn't going to work out. No matter how much she begged me.
What was that, Jimmy on the street?
What? Jimmy? You remember that?
Jimmy says that there is nothing to back up what you're saying. That this probably happened in your mind. And
shut your mouth, Jimmy.
A drug-induced stupor? Something about that? Anyway, all right, Jimmy, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Jimmy. Always a chum. All right, yeah, so that's, who was your favorite character on Boys Meets World? Who'd you really like? Who'd you connect with the most? I got an idea who you connected with the most.
I'm going to go with the funny brother.
No. I think his name is Feeney.
Oh, well, buddy, everybody related to Feeney. Now, here's what I know. I did watch this show some. It was one that I picked up every once in a while. It came on after Family Matters and before Step by Step. So it was kind of in that gray area where I didn't...
Step by Step, man.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Step by step, day by day. All right, anyway. So this was a show that I would watch every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
And it wasn't a bad show. Now Feeney. He was... I knew when I heard that voice, I thought to myself, I know that from somewhere.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? What was
there
that?
was something that this man did. And then it hit me.
He hit you?
Like a car.
Oh, like he got ran over.
Yes. I was playing out in the street one day.
Like a freight train.
And he got and I got hit by a car, and that's when it hit me. Knight Rider.
Ooh. Oh, was he a character in Knight Rider?
He was the car.
What?
He was the talking car, people.
KITT, right?
KITT Cloud Kicker.
KITT. Don't bring in that. Don't bring in Tailspin.
Oh, sorry, my bad. That's the show I watched all the time. No, he was KITT. He was the car. He was the voice actor for the show KITT. He had that kind of refined British character to him. And it was just... that was something that I thought was neat, that he was, this deal. And honestly, I had never seen what the actual actor looked like until I saw this show.
And then you knew, and you were like, life is now complete. I can die a happy child weren't you in the institution by now at this time?
Well, you mean for the Insanely Gifted?
Yes, that one.
Yes.
That's the one you were in.
By the way, let me bring you up to speed here. Since we're talking birthdays, speaking of Knight Rider.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. On this date yesterday.
In 1992.
1902. 1982.
1982.
Not 1992, like I said. We were stuck in the 90s. I had to go farther back.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm ripping a space-time continuum a new one today.
Okay.
Like I always do.
Man, you're so rough and tumble.
But
what?
Knight Rider
premiered.
premiered.
Oh, it did?
It did.
Well,
How do you feel about that, my friend? How about them apples?
You know what?
KITT, the car that drove into our hearts, did donuts in it, left it mutilated, and drove right out.
Wow.
Premiered.
I'll be honest. I will be 110% honest with you. I maybe seen half an episode of Knight Rider.
It showed us what a talking car
What we could be.
What AI truly could be.
One day. Well, I mean, so you watched Knight Rider?
I watched Knight Rider.
Like, tell me a little bit about your experience with the Riders of the Night.
I'll be honest with you. It was a long time ago, and I watched it on reruns because at the time, it only ran from 82 to 86.
Okay.
And so I was really 2 to 6, and I kind of remember. But I watched it on reruns later.
Uh-huh.
And it was a good show. They tried to reboot it in 2008. It obviously...
It's still around because it was so good, right?
Yeah, sure.
Did they get William Daniels to go back and voice KITT?
You know, a good question. That is a great question.
You know, if it's not around now, I guarantee you they didn't. I guarantee because people would have connected more.
I hate to break it to you. It's not around now.
Well, obvious what I'm saying. If William Daniels isn't voicing KITT, what's the point? Just what's the point?
Actually, they brought back to voice KITT because Feeney was obviously too busy.
He's rolling in that Boy Meets World money.
Too big at this time. They brought in a little known actor named Val Kilmer.
Val
Kilmer.
Is that like Romanian?
He looks familiar.
Does he?
He was Batman.
Oh, that Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know him as Batman. I know what I call him, Val Kilmer, as the Saint.
But there was an evil KITT on this new one, voiced by none other than
Val Kilmer.
No, yeah, slightly gruffer voice. He's like, "Hey, I'm evil.
I'm evil now."
But no, voiced by none other than Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen, that sounds familiar. What else did he do?
Well, my friend, he's none other than Optimus Prime.
That's right. I can't believe I forgot
Don't
that.
come into my house if you don't know who Optimus Prime is.
I'm glad you gave him the full name. His the respect that Optimus Prime deserves. His full name.
Well, that's his middle initial.
Optimus D Prime.
Yeah, Optimus D Prime.
ODP.
Middle initials are very important on Cybertron.
They're kept secret because they have so much power in them.
They are.
Their true name.
Yes.
Their choo-choo name.
Yes.
But
this show.
All right.
This show, it brought a lot to the table. It was a fun show. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was obviously in 2008. We're way past that.
We are. It's not 2008 anymore.
No, I mean,
what were we
I'm
in,
just
2000?
saying we're way past the artificial intelligence stories. Artificial intelligence stories have been done out the wazoo at this point.
Well, the weird thing is, artificial intelligence is less a story now and now a reality.
Right.
And I mean, who was it? We just saw an article. This is a nostalgia podcast, but I mean, bring to the future. Was James Cameron just sounded the alarm on artificial intelligence?
But wait. We did a story just recently with who did that before him though? None other than Putin himself had already said, whoever controls AI will control the world.
But he's worried about AI eating his face.
But you know what? I'm happy to announce. Well, I need to also bring up something very quickly.
Bring it.
that if Putin is correct,
Uh-huh.
it is the Hoff himself who will control the world. Because he controls AI.
Oh, man. I think he's already taken over Germany.
Well, yeah. The Germans do love
They
the
fell
Hoff.
in line quite quickly.
The Germans do love the Hoff. Now, there are rumors of a reboot.
Uh-huh.
Because a 2008 reboot of Knight Rider didn't work. By all means, let's try it in 2017. Justin Lin of Fast and the Furious fame was set to direct. Now it's been switched over to James Gunn of
I know that name.
the rumors are that James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy fame is going to direct it now or produce it or whatever. So, I mean, there's hope for this reboot. If you're a nostalgia fan, you'll obviously want this reboot.
You'll want to miss this reboot like you did the last one, most likely.
Because
consistency, guys.
Because it hurts your memories. It hurts your heart to watch these reboots that are just terrible.
Oh, man. Well, it wouldn't be terrible for me because I really never watched the original.
But
what do I remember? A car? What vehicle? I'm trying to think of a talking vehicle that I could think of that's in a sitcom live action. I mean, Mask, obviously, and stuff like that. Or Pole Position.
While you're thinking of that, going down that way. Oh, Optimus Prime or Transformers. Those had talking cars.
Thanks. I don't know.
I just helped you out. Rent a Transformer movie.
Thank you so much.
Rent a Transformer movie, and bam, you've done it. All right.
In the middle of nowhere, you just.
You know what? Your good friend Nick Cole, he's here for you.
I appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Do we have any other birthdays, my friend?
I have one more birthday. It's if you've watched or listened, because we do actually do. Hey, we have a camera going right now on YouTube. We do have a channel.
What's up, people?
No one watches it, but you're welcome to go to YouTube.
Yo!
See what we look like.
I could be giving you the bird right now, and you never know. Sorry.
Thank you. My favorite 80s movie, who every line of it is quotable and loved. And I'll be honest with you, there's so many good lines in the movie. I don't know them all, and people will quote them, and I'll be like, "What's that from?"
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the
Crocodile DunDee.
The Princess Bride, 1987, limited release. The first release happened on September 25th, 1987, and then the full U.S. release was on October 9th. But let's give it the credit it's due. So happy birthday to the Princess Bride.
I remember something. There's a great podcast I listened to not too long ago.
What is that podcast that did an entire episode dedicated to the Princess Bride?
Yeah, I think it's called Pull Up a Chair Podcast.
Those guys sound great.
Yeah, it was really good. And they talked about the Princess Bride for like an entire episode. I learned so much things I didn't know before. Many things that I had no clue what they were.
There's many factoids in that episode, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's what they're called. Facts. Yes.
Facts. Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with these normally.
But yeah, Princess Bride. Go back if you want to. We have a whole episode dedicated to the Princess Bride because it is one of my favorite movies. If you can't tell, I'm talking a little faster and high pitched because it is my favorite movie. All right, let's move past that, though I don't want to. And
we've already talked. We did a whole episode.
Yeah, we did a whole episode. We just did a bit about. We got a little time left here, just a little bit of time. Not really, not much. Let's do a few minutes. Another birthday is Crocodile DunDee, 1986, September 26th.
Happy birthday, Paul Hogan, you crazy Australian.
There is a myriad of facts you can find all over the internet.
Little known fact, Paul Hogan was actually born on that movie set.
That's a good fact. How do you find these out, Nick? You were like there.
Jimmy on the street. He's the one. He's like feeding this stuff into my ear.
Man, I'll tell you my favorite fact. Of this. Look at this. I didn't know this fact. In an alternative ending, that was cut. Fred Savage, who plays the initial reluctant audience to Peter Falk's reading The Princess Bride, going to his widow after his grandfather left. What is it? Oh, I'm sorry. This turned. Where did all my facts go? Okay, my Princess Bride facts bled over to my Crocodile DunDee facts, and it really freaked me out.
Well, if you've gone back and listened to our Princess Bride thing, let's give you another fact here very quickly. There was an alternate ending where Fred Savage stuck his head out and saw the entire cast of the book he just listened to.
Yeah, outside his window.
So apparently the whole thing happened. That whole beginning part happened in the Middle Ages.
Apparently, yeah.
What a twist! M. Night Shyamalan, you'd be proud.
So Hogan and Kozlowski, the female lead, they wed in 1990. Did you know that?
I did know that.
You did?
I did.
Well, did you know they got divorced in 2013?
I didn't know that.
So that is a little factoid on the small franchise that is Crocodile DunDee. Are they going to do a new Crocodile DunDee series? I'll be honest with you. I didn't even check. It seems like something that they would
actually, they're going to be putting out a soon-to-be documentary of the entire Crocodile DunDee franchise, all 3 movies.
Are they really?
That's called That's Not a Knife. And
one of my factoids, one of the facts I got was actually about that line. It almost didn't make it into the movie. The writers didn't think the knife line was very funny. So
who Shaddy admitted about the line? It was funny on paper, Shaddy admitted. Okay, first of all, I want you to know, Shaddy, you don't know comedy. You should listen to your star, Paul Hogan. That man has been making comedy for years. He is an American treasure, sir.
He really is. Well, you know what I remember when I watched Crocodile DunDee after the first 10th or 50th time. Did you talk in a poorly done Australian accent?
No, I talked in a great Australian accent. I nailed it.
You are a premier voice actor, Nick, and so that's a bit unfair to me. But I mean, it's easier for you to be a voice actor because you have all those voices in your head.
I do.
So
hang on, here's my Australian one. Good day, mate. You see?
What?
You hear that?
Did Paul Hogan just
You
walk
hear
in?
that? You hear that?
Hogan, get back in
Watch
here.
out for that Blarney there, you kangaroo.
Wow, Paul Hogan, did you know he did an Irish accent?
I got nothing. Sorry. I don't know Australian words. If you're from Australia and you listen to this, please send us your Australian words.
Send your words to us. We're running short on words. Send them.
I need more words. I know word good.
All right. Well, that's all I have.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Buddy, I've got a couple stories I just want to talk about very briefly. The first one I'm going to bring up is that there is going to be a new Terminator. We mentioned Mr. Cameron earlier.
Oh, yeah.
There is a new Terminator that is coming up. It is being done by, actually, James Cameron's coming back for it. They got him to come back. They are completely throwing out every movie after part 2.
Part 2.
They're acting like those didn't happen, as they said here, the bad movies.
The bad ones are gone.
That's a quote from
Okay.
Mr. Cameron, and
Thank you, Cameron.
they are. Well, he says they're acting like that was more of a bad dream or a alternate reality or timeline. He said, which is perfectly okay in our multiverse, thing that we're making of this whole deal. Anyway, Cameron is going to be back. Schwarzenegger is back. Linda Hamilton is back. They are bringing back the trio, the Trinity that made the Terminator movies what they were. I don't know if they're going to try to get the kid that played John Connor in part 2 or not.
Okay.
I don't remember what that kid was what his name was, but they're going to have to find him at some rehab facility, I'm guessing.
That's kind of what I remember. I remember that.
No, he had a really bad drug addiction.
I remember that too.
That went crazy.
Yeah, he was like, didn't he almost go homeless?
Yes, he did. He kind of had a big
just a small, huge drug issue.
Right. Just enough to make him go crazy. But this movie is going to do all of those things, and those people are coming back. And not only that, they have a premier bad guy.
Bad guy.
Mr. Taken himself. Liam Neeson is going to be, who who in his movies already acts like a Terminator.
Yeah, he's unstoppable, guys.
Yeah, he is unstoppable, and his movements are very stiff, much like a robot.
Much like his entire acting.
Right.
But I also I still like Liam Neeson. I still like him.
No, don't get me wrong. I love the man, but he plays one role, and that's
the Terminator.
The Terminator. So you're gonna have all these lined up, and I'm sure it's gonna be a heck of a movie. I'm excited, honestly. It says that it's probably going to be next year before we get this masterpiece of filmmaking. Some are calling it the next Masters of the Universe, which is high praise.
Dolph Lundgren himself is giving him that title,
Dolph
right?
Lundgren himself, who actually was offered the role of a Terminator and turned it down because he said, "I don't need to work. I was He-Man."
Yeah, I was He-Man.
That was the exact quote. The last story that I'm going to bring up is a story that we actually talked about. And I called you a prognosticator, sir. I called you one that foresees the future. Well, today I was watching the news, and they're saying in 2021, we will have the ability to buy self-driving cars. That's right, people. You heard it here first. Eric Boyd called self-driving cars would happen, that they would be a thing. You're welcome, America. Eric
don't
Boyd,
worship me. Don't worship me.
Pull Up a Chair podcast brought you self-driving cars.
Before I mentioned it, no one had ever thought of it.
No.
The idea had never been dreamed up.
No, never.
And so you're welcome, world.
Well, sir, you are a visionary, a scholar, and
visionaries,
a gentleman. So we thank you. The lowly people, thank you.
Well, you all are welcome. Please don't worship me as a god this time. All those sacrifices people keep doing for me, I don't need them.
All right. Well, we thank you for listening, everybody. That's all we have time for today. Eric, any final thoughts?
Go watch Alf.
What a sad final thought. If you've got time to watch Alf, I suggest you watch Knight Rider.
There you go.
Instead, that's a good show. And I will now give you a rendition of my Terminator theme song.
Oh, please do. Please.
Do 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 dun 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 do 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 do. Eric, where can they find us?
You can find us all over this great internet of ours. You can find us on iTunes at Pull Up a Chair Podcast. Of course, you can find us on any of the Android platforms at Pull Up a Chair Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Pull Up a Chair Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Pull Up a Chair Podcast if you want to see our beautiful faces. And last and least, you can find us at our own website, which is puckpodcast.website, PUC podcast.website.
I don't think you meant last but least.
I did mean that.
The website is not least. Da dun dun da dun. Da 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 da. We hope you enjoyed listening to us, and our dulcet tones bring you kind of some nostalgia. If you liked us, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Share it with some people. Share the joy that we bring.
So much joy.
So much joy. And be excellent to each other. Eric.
Good day, Bill.
Have a good day.
All right, bye.